Happy 2023, y'all. New year, same old Samantha. Friends, hello. Welcome back to Amethyst Craftworks. I'm Samantha, and Happy New Year. This is the first video that I'm recording that I'm uploading in the brand new 2023 year. Happy New Year. I hope things are going well for you already. I know we're only a couple of days in, but I hope things are going good. I hope things continue to go well for you. I hope this year is full of prosperity and happiness and good health and all the good vibes for both me and for you. And I just wanted to say as well, thank you for watching today. Thank you for joining me here today because I have a very exciting thing to talk about today. In case the title of the video, in case the thumbnail of the video didn't give it away, I have some things to talk about the Movie Marquee challenge with ya. So if you've been watching Heather's videos, Heather the Crochet Witch, or even Bella from Bella's Crochet Gifts, hello ladies, hello my friends. If you have been watching them, if you are a fan of theirs, which I would hope you are because they are lovely, lovely ladies, the three of us together, we are taking over the Movie Marquee Challenge for 2023. The three of us are hosting, co-hosting, try-hosting the challenge for movie picks and, all that good stuff. And I was so honored and so touched and so excited when Heather asked me if I wanted to not only participate this year, but also help host, help pick movies. Because I was like, heck yeah, I do. Let's do it. And when she told me that Bella was participating too, I was like, this is gonna be fan-frickin-tastic. And so I have some things to talk about that with you. But the actual very first thing is Movie Marquee Challenge related, but it's last year's. It's 2022's version. Now, I did granny squares. I did 12 of them. 12 movie related granny squares. And then I had 3 extras that were my own. And so 15 in total, 15 granny squares in total, right? 15, yeah. 12 and 3, that's 15. Thanks, brain. Anyway, I had 15 granny squares, and so I joined them all up and made a blanket last year. Late in the year last year is when I started. But I have an actual finished blanket that I want to show off to you, so hold on. One sec here, let me grab it for you. So, you guys have seen work in progress on this blanket since September, since I started it last year. It also feels so weird to say already. I mean, we're like legitimately only 3, 4, 5. I'm not really sure what day it is even today, but we're only a few days into the new year, and already I'm like, oh, that was so last year. Anyway, so you have seen this blanket in various stages from September till now, and it's 100% completed. So all the ends are woven in, all the squares are joined, all the border is on, everything is good to go, and I'm ready to show it off to you. So let's remind you here, real fast. The squares themselves that I made start here. This was January, Silence of the Lambs. This is going to be a real test of my memory here. February, Lost Boys. March, Venom. April, Black Widow. May, Purple Rain. June, Free Guy. Then the next row here, these solid ones are the ones that I made, so they're not movie related specifically. But then, oh goodness, where are we? Did I go backwards? No. April, April, May, June, and then July? Have I put these in weird? Did I put them in backwards? I thought I kind of went in like, you know what? It doesn't matter. This is Full Metal Jacket. I think this was July. August, Dude, Where's My Car? September, the month that I joined in. Fifth Element. Yeah, no, these are right. And then October, Lord of the Rings. November, Twilight. And the very last square for December was Princess Bride. I think I got those all right. I think so. So those were all my squares. And on the border, I had originally planned to just do like a few rounds, like a handful of rounds of like granny stripe around. And then what I ended up doing, I essentially used every color that was in the blanket in the border. There's a couple of places here where it's multicolored. So the purple, the light blue, and the yellow rose here are eventually multicolored here. Gosh, so yeah, it turned to orange. There's some cream there here on this row. And the yellow row turned to pink, and I just essentially, I used every color that was in the blanket for a round or a partial round, whatever I had left, because the pink I didn't have a whole lot left, so it only got like 2/3 of the way around, something like that. But yeah, I used up not only a lot of yarn, but I have every color represented, and then I've got 3 rows of black on the very outside to just finish it off, tie it all together. And I am so good at holding this thing upside down. Hold on. Let me get it right side up. Let's see if I can maybe hold it up. I think it's also backwards. We are on the struggle bus today, but that's okay. So let's see if I can hold it all up. Can you even see it? I can't see you. Who knows? Maybe you saw it, all of it. I love it. I am so proud of it. And I think it looks like scrappy and ridiculous and crazy, colorful, and it's great. It's a small throw, like a small throw blanket. It's not quite enough to cover my entire bed, for example. I have a full-size bed. I tend to use my bed as like the benchmark for blanket sizes. So it's not quite full-size bed size, but it is a decent size. It's a nice throw blanket. It is for sure long enough for me to cover up Ursula here, right? I can sit pretty comfortably tucked up underneath here. It is long enough that it can sit and like drape over my feet if I'm sitting in a chair. This may be something I sit with while I work, sit on the sofa with it. It's a great blanket, and it's made with scraps and partial skeins and, things that I wanted to use up, which we'll get into a little bit more here as well. But I didn't use all of it up, but I did use a good portion of it up. And it's all like Red Heart, Super Saver, mainstays from Walmart, and Joann's Big Twist Value. I don't think I used any other brands of yarn in this. But yeah, I love it. I think it looks great. And it is 100% finished here. It is good to go, ready to use. I may wash it just to kind of give it a head start on softness, because some of these yarns are iffy on softness. But yeah, I love it. And that's the Movie Marquee Challenge, a check for 2022. So now let's move on to 2023. So, in case you haven't perhaps joined us for a Movie Marquee Challenge video, either from me or Heather or Sandy from Crochet Canada. Hi, Sandy. She is the one that started it last year with Heather. If you haven't joined any of these videos, or if you know Bella's either, like if you haven't seen any of them, basically what we are doing is taking inspiration from movie posters. Every month, one of us, either Bella, me, or Heather, will be picking a movie. We're going to show you the poster for the movie, talk about our inspirations, pull colors from the poster, and make a something with it, right? It's pretty self-explanatory, but just in case you weren't aware, that's the whole thing. And Heather actually has a Facebook group, and I'm going to link it below as well, of course. Bella and Heather will be linked below too, just in case you're unfamiliar with them. But if you make something from one of our movie picks, if you make a something in one of these months, post it on Heather's Facebook group. I would love to see it. I'm on there. I'm always kind of poking around and scrolling forever. So if you post something, I will very likely see it. I know Heather will too. Bella, Bella will. We're all we're all on there. And without like kind of any more explanation and babbling here, I'm going to get into the actual pick for January. So it was Heather's pick, even though she picked in December as well for last year. She started us off this year with, drum roll please, fanfare, dun da da da, Young Guns 2. This was the movie pick that she picked for January. And I have seen both of the Young Guns movies. In fact, they are currently free on Roku. If you have Roku, if you have a Roku TV, I was watching Young Guns 2 yesterday as of recording this, like just to kind of give myself a refresher. Because my idea for the 2023 Movie Marquee Challenge is Granny Squares again. But before you like turn me off and are like, oh, boring, hear me out first, okay? So I'm going to make granny squares for a cardigan, for a granny square cardigan. Now, a granny square cardigan is something that I have very much wanted to make since starting my crochet journey. I've made a hexagon granny cardigan. I've made like a granny stripe granny cardigan. I've made just double crochet rows and rows and rows for a cardigan. This time I'm doing granny squares. I'm doing a granny square cardigan, but with a twist. So for each month, I think if I did my math correctly, I think I need 6 granny squares per month, which will give me 72 at the end of the year, right? I think if I did my math correctly with the measurements and everything I need for the size of the granny square, all that good stuff, I think I need 72 to make a kind of oversized, lovely, snuggly granny square cardigan. And in the front, if you can kind of envision this, the front panel, so from one side to the middle and then from the other side to the middle, is going to be 2 granny squares wide and either 6 or 8 granny squares long. I'm not sure how long I want it yet, but I think in general, if it's at least going to be 6 squares. No, yeah, 3. Oh my God. 3 squares or 4 squares long. That's okay. Get myself all discombobulated here. So 2 squares wide in either 3 or 4 squares long. That's where I was going with it, because that'll be 6 or 8 total per panel in the front. So regardless of that, the front panels to the left and to the right are going to, at the very least, have 6 granny squares. 6 and 6, maybe 8 and 8, but 6 and 6 at the minimum. So I'm going to do one granny square per movie per month that is a little ornate. And I'll explain that further. But I'm going to do 6 granny squares based on that movie in that month, one of which is going to be fancy. And so, let me show you what I mean, okay? Let me pull it up. So, I wish you guys could see my desk here beside me because I've got a whole mess of things next to me. So, if I think the movie poster is very likely not up, so I'm going to put it up again because these are the colors first that I'm working with, okay? Oh, I hit the mic. Super sorry if you heard that. So I have a collection here of various browns, which the movie poster is brown heavy, shall we say. And so some of these are scraps, some of these I just bought for this challenge, which kind of negates my idea of actually using scraps and using up what I've got. But brown wasn't a color I had a lot of, so these, oh man, oh man. They're real floppy. How can I get, man, that one is just like real offensively floppy. Mm-hmm. Mm. What a beautiful array, right? Maybe I'll show them individually. So we have a tan. This is cream from Big Twist Value. We have another darker cream color. This is Buff from Red Heart Super Saver. These are real floppy. I am so sorry. This one that was like insisting on being super floppy. This one is Cafe Latte, also from Red Heart. Then we've got a Big Twist Value in the color Toffee, which I thought was a nice like warm orange tone brown. And then, hold on, I dropped one. This is also a Big Twist Value, and this is chocolate brown. So these were my colors that I picked because the boys, as you can see over here, they're all kind of wearing shades of brown and tan. The movie itself is also set in New Mexico in like the deserts and stuff, so the sand colors and everything worked pretty well for the movie. And so this is the square that I came up with. So this is, and it changes. There's even more here. So don't tune out on me yet even now, okay? Let me explain. So this is the square that I made with all of those brown colors. I think it looks great. Brown isn't my favorite color, but it's a nice neutral. And to be honest, these colors look pretty good together. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I kind of love it. So this is my square. Now, this square is going to be my fancy square. So I'm going to make some kind of reference to, oh, something in my eye. There we go. So I'm going to make some kind of reference to the movie in crochet on one square. This is going to be the one that's like in the front, on the front panel, right? It's going to be up front and center so you see right on my chest this reference square. And then the rest of the squares, so the other 5 squares that I'm going to make, are probably going to be either this exact solid granny square or solid granny squares in another arrangement of these browns. You know, maybe stripe them differently, do them in different order, whatever. But this is going to be my first fancy square. And I do have, oh my goodness, where did they go? Here they are. Okay. So you're going to have to forgive me here because I left myself very long tails so I could sew these in because I'm going to do appliques. I'm going to do oh, I keep hitting the microphone. I'm sorry. So I'm going to do appliques on my fancy squares, and those are going to be in reference to something in the movie. A quote, a scene, a something is going to be referenced on the front panels, right? I know it took me a long time to get there, but I eventually did. And I think, do you get my vision here? It's going to be crazy and ridiculous, and I'm gonna love it because I love how crazy and ridiculous my blanket came out. This is gonna be even better, right? So in the movie, in both of Young Guns, the theme of pals comes up pretty frequently. There is a scene in, I think it's the first movie, where Billy the Kid, Emilio Estevez, goes on like a long speech about how if you have 3 or 4 pals, then you have a tribe, and you know all that stuff. And in the second movie, I'm pretty sure because it's also like they also kind of run together. But he also does like a cheers to pals when they're in a seedy, trying to think of a good way to describe it without saying what it is. Like a seedy establishment, shall we say. So he does a cheers to pals, and I'm also pretty sure the actual real gravestone for Billy the Kid has pals written on it, right? You see where I'm going with this? So I've got this color. This is a Karen Simply Soft in gold. And I thought this matched the actual lettering on the movie poster itself. And I'm going to sit this here because my desk over here is... it's an avalanche waiting to happen. But I'm going to put P... A... Do you see where we're going here? L... And S, if I can unfurl it sufficiently so you can see that it's an S, right? I'm going to sew these across my square. They kind of overlap. They're a little bit big. The letters are, they're a little big to fit across, but I think I'm going to do it. Why didn't I prepare better for this? Because I'm an idiot, that's why. But, you get it, right? These are going to go, they're going to overlap across. It's going to say pals across my brown square, right? you get it? I think you get it. This is a trial and error kind of thing. So I'm hoping this actually works the way I intend it to. But this is going to be up front and center on my chest somewhere, along with 12 other individual granny squares with some kind of applique that is a reference to the movie. Then the other squares that I'm going to make for that movie are going to be plain. I'm going to use just solid grannies like this. This pattern, I believe Heather has a pattern for solid granny squares, so I'll link it below. And these letters that I made, these are from a Happy Berry Crochet tutorial series. So I'll link the ones that I used here. That S looks like a dead snake. Anyway. So I'll link the tutorials down below for the letters that I use. These were a Happy Berry. And I'll link a tutorial indeed for the solid granny square. I think Heather absolutely has one. I kind of winged this, but I may go back and remake it because it's a little wonky, and maybe I'll actually use Heather's pattern if I'm honest here. But this is my idea, right? I'm going to make 5 more. I think I'll do different configurations of the brown, so maybe dark on the outside, and you get it, right? They don't have to be uniform. They just are going to be the same colors. And each set, for each month, for each movie, going to match the poster. We're going to reference something in the movie. We're gonna make the front panels be crazy and have all these funky appliques on it, and I think it's gonna be it's gonna be great. I think it's gonna be great. It's gonna be like a cardigan that I'm gonna wear in like YouTube videos and stuff, and it's always gonna remind me of 2023 and Heather and Bella, just like the blanket that I finished is always gonna make me think of Heather and Sandy and my first year on YouTube. So I think that's everything that I wanted to show you. I'm going to work on this for, a little while. I will come back and do an update. I will show you what it looks like with pals written across it, actually sewn on. I'll show you the other squares that I make. I will also do very likely a kind of roundup for the end of the month, show you all the squares that I made. And then, wait for the next the next pick. I think Bella is picking in February and then I'm in March. So, February as well, whenever that's out, we'll be back here for, more planning and ideas, and I also left myself like ridiculous tails on the applique letters so I can sew them in. But it also means that they just kind of get tangled, even if I just sort of sit them here. It is what it is. What was I saying? I don't know. Who knows? Certainly not me. But I will be back for another update when I've got these on here, when I've got some more squares done, when I've got some more things to talk to you about. And I am so excited. I hope you join in. You don't even have to use the same movie. If you don't like the poster for Young Guns, if it's not your cup of tea, you know what? You don't have to. Pick your own movie, base a project on it. I would love to see it. I know the other ladies would love to see it too. But for this challenge, that's, it's a challenge, right? Push yourself, nudge yourself out of your comfort zone. Use colors that you might not normally together, because I gotta say, browns and gold, not something I would typically combinate, is what I was gonna say. Combine is the word you were looking for, Samantha. But they're not colors I would normally combine, and I would not have had I not had that specific poster to work from. It's part of the challenge, right? So I am at the end of the year gonna have a ridiculous sweater. If you're doing squares too, then feel free to join in too. If you want to do one big project every month, more power to you. I've got some other things in mind to do for this year, so I thought I could handle a few granny squares a month with some extra something to it. And I'm gonna put this down before I keep just gesturing that wad of gold yarn at you. But I'm just gonna let you go now because I'm done babbling. I hope you're having a lovely start to 2023. I hope you're as excited about the Movie Marquee challenge as I am, as Heather is, as Bella is. I think we're all like teeming with excitement because it's so fun and new, and every month you got something to look forward to. So I hope you join in, and I hope you're excited to see what we've got cooking for you. And until the next update on the Movie Marquee Challenge, until I've got another video for you, I hope you have a good day. I hope you liked the video. I hope you have subscribed. And I will catch you next time. Goodbye.